The human with the badge. The marketplace on the planet Varel 7 was always loud, filled with bright alien lights, shouting traders, and floating scent bots spraying perfume in the air. Alien species from every corner of the galaxy moved through the streets. But today everything stopped. A loud, clear voice echoed through the plaza. "By order of the Galactic Federation, you're under arrest." Everyone turned. Heads shifted. Tails froze. Even the sound of the music stalls paused. In the middle of the crowd stood a tall, armored figure. His black suit shimmered with a silver badge on the chest. It wasn't just any badge. It was a Federation Enforcer badge. But the real shock? The Enforcer was human. Aliens gasped. Whispers filled the air. "That's impossible. Humans aren't allowed in law enforcement anymore." "Is that really a human? I thought they were extinct." Standing just 10 feet away from him was a young alien girl. Slender, about 18 in human years. Her skin had a soft purple glow, and her silver hair flowed down like silk. Her large blue eyes were wide with confusion and fear. Her name was Alira, and she had no idea why this human was pointing at her. She stepped back. What do you mean? Arrest? Me?" The human took a step forward, slowly, calmly. He didn't raise his weapon, just showed the badge again. "Alira of House Vakesh, you are charged with violation of Galactic Code 113. You are coming with me." She blinked fast. "Code 113? That's high-level tech crime. I'm not a criminal." The crowd began to whisper louder. Some even pulled out their comms to record. It was rare to see an arrest in public, and even rarer to see a human enforcer. They were supposed to be a myth, a ghost from the past. Alira tried to think. What had she done? She was just a translator's apprentice. She worked at the archives. She hadn't stolen anything. She hadn't hacked anything. Or had she? Her mind went back to a few days ago, when she touched a strange device hidden behind old scrolls. It looked broken. When she touched it, it lit up. Just for a second. She didn't tell anyone. Was that it? "Wait. You're making a mistake," she shouted. "I didn't do anything wrong." The human stopped walking. His face was hidden under his helmet, but his voice was calm and firm. "Intent doesn't change the outcome. The device you activated is forbidden. And now, they want you silenced." "Who's they?" He didn't answer. Alira's eyes widened. She did the only thing she could think of. She ran. Pushing through the crowd, she dashed between merchants, past shocked shoppers. Her heart pounded. Her legs moved fast, but she could still feel his presence behind her. Quiet, steady, like a hunter. "Please," she whispered to herself. "Just let me go." But suddenly, a hover drone swooped in from above and blocked her path. Before she could change direction, a shadow appeared in front of her. The human was already there. "Don't make this harder," he said. "You're not safe out here. Not from them." "Then who are you really?" she asked, breathing heavily. "Some assassin with a fake badge?" He reached up and removed his helmet. Her breath caught. He looked young, maybe mid-30s. His eyes were cold, but not cruel. His face had scars. Real battle scars, but more than that, he looked tired, like someone who had seen too many lies. "I'm Riker," he said simply. "Last Federation hunter still loyal to the truth." "Then why arrest me?" "Because it's the only way, to protect you." She didn't understand. Behind them, the crowd stayed silent, watching carefully. No one moved to help her. No one dared challenge a badge, even from a human. Riker lifted a small remote and pressed a button. A sleek black ship rose from the back alley. It hovered just a few feet from the ground. Its door opened automatically. "Get in," he said. Alira hesitated. She looked around. The people watching her looked away. They didn't care. They were just happy it wasn't them. She looked at Riker one more time. "I don't trust you," she said. "You shouldn't," he replied. "But I'm the only one standing between you and the people who want you dead." Her feet moved before her brain could decide. She stepped into the ship. The door closed, the engines roared, and the marketplace returned to noise like nothing had happened. But everything had changed. A dangerous secret. The door of the sleek black ship hissed shut behind her. Inside, the lights were dim. Everything smelled like metal, oil, and something strangely clean. Alira stood frozen, still breathing hard. Her hands were shaking. The human, Riker, moved past her without a word and tapped a glowing panel. The ship lifted smoothly into the air, and within seconds, the city was gone. Just clouds and stars now. Where are you taking me? She asked, trying to stay brave. Riker didn't answer immediately. He locked the controls and finally turned around. Somewhere safe, he said. You mean prison? She snapped. He gave a dry chuckle. If I wanted to throw you in a cell, I wouldn't be flying this ship. I'd have handed you over already. Alira narrowed her eyes. Then why the badge? Why say I'm under arrest? Riker leaned against the wall and crossed his arms. Because if I didn't make it official, bounty hunters would have shot you before you even turned your head. Now they think I've captured you. She stared at him in disbelief. So, I'm not under arrest? He tilted his head. That depends. On what? On whether you tell me the truth. Alira hesitated. What truth? She asked slowly. Riker walked to a metal cabinet and pulled out a small hollow pad. He tossed it onto the table between them. It lit up, showing a glowing device, an ancient-looking artifact covered in alien symbols. Recognize this? He asked. Alira's heart skipped. She did recognize it. That was the object she found 3 days ago, deep in the dusty archives under the library tower. It was half buried in scrolls. She thought it was just some old decoration. When she picked it up, it glowed for only a second and then went dark again. I didn't steal it, she whispered. No, Riker agreed. But you activated it. She looked at him, stunned. I didn't know it was dangerous. Riker nodded. It's not your fault. But now that you touched it, every shadow group in the galaxy wants your blood. That device wasn't junk. It's a Federation relic. Something so powerful they erased its records from every database. Alira blinked. Why would they do that? Because it's a key, Riker said quietly. A key to something they're terrified of. The ship suddenly shook. Alarms beeped. Riker rushed to the controls. We've got company. Outside, 2 ships appeared from behind a nearby asteroid. Sleek, red-striped, pirate-built. Hold on, Riker shouted. The ship dove sharply. Alira fell sideways, hitting the wall. Plasma blasts flew past the window. She screamed. Riker cursed under his breath and pulled the ship into a spiral. They found us already? Alira cried. Told you, Riker said. They want that key, and you. He tapped a button. The ship's guns returned fire. One of the enemy ships exploded. The other broke off and vanished into the void. After a few minutes, everything was calm again. Alira sat up slowly. Who are you really, Riker? He didn't answer right away. Then he turned around, face serious. I used to be part of the Federation's elite, the Hunters. Our job was to find dangerous tech, lock it away, and make sure no one ever used it. And now? Now I work alone. Because the Federation stopped protecting knowledge and started erasing it. Alira felt a strange chill run down her spine. What does the device open? She asked, scared of the answer. Riker walked to a screen and tapped again. This time it showed a giant glowing door, half buried in a jungle covered in vines and pulsing with golden energy. It's called the Vault of Creation, he said. No one knows exactly what's inside, but it's ancient, built by both humans and aliens long before the current Federation even existed. Alira stared in shock. And I'm the key to this? Not just a key. You're the only living being who can activate it. Why me? Riker looked at her carefully. Because you're not fully alien. Your mother was human. Alira's blood froze. That's a lie. Is it? He asked calmly. Then, how did you survive touching that relic? Pure aliens would have burned. She shook her head. Her mother died when she was a child. No one ever talked about her. Was this possible? I don't believe you. You don't have to. But the Federation does. That's why they sent a kill order for you. She stood, shaking, chest tight. This is too much. Riker walked to her and placed a small tracking chip on the table. You can walk away, get out at the next port and disappear. Or come with me and find the truth. Where are you going? He turned to the stars. To the vault. Before someone else gets there first. Alira looked at the chip. She had a choice now. Run, or unlock something the galaxy had buried long ago. Human justice. The stars outside the ship passed like streaks of light, but inside the cockpit, silence had taken over. Alira sat across from Riker, staring at him like he was some ancient ghost. He wasn't looking at her. He just calmly adjusted a navigation panel, but she knew he was watching her, carefully. So, she finally asked, voice cold, this is justice human style? Point a gun, say you're under arrest, and then offer me a choice to join you? Riker raised his eyebrows but didn't turn. No. That was survival. She stood angry now. You tricked me. You lied. I told you the truth, he replied. You made me think I was going to die. You scared me on purpose. Now he looked at her. His voice didn't rise. It got lower. Because if I hadn't, they would have killed you in that market. The words hit harder than a slap. Riker stood and walked toward her, calm but firm. Listen, Alira. You live in a world where truth has been erased, where the people who run the galaxy hide ancient power, murder hybrids like you, and rewrite history books. You think you're safe because you follow the rules. You're not. Not anymore. She backed up slightly, but she didn't look away. So what happens now? Now we reach Earth. She froze. Earth, she whispered. That world is radioactive wasteland. It was destroyed in the War of Collapse. Riker's expression didn't change. That's what they told you. He turned and tapped a button. A hologram shimmered between them. It showed a beautiful blue planet, lush green lands, clear oceans, and floating cities that hovered above the clouds. Earth is alive, hidden, behind a cloaking field, and it's the last place left where real history still exists. Alira stared at the image, feeling dizzy. Everything she had been taught was wrong. Why take me there? Because the vault is connected to Earth, he said. Its map is encoded in your DNA, and Earth is the only place left with the technology to read it. She lowered her head. So I'm not a criminal. I'm a key. Exactly. Just then the ship beeped. Riker turned fast. Incoming transmission. The screen flashed to life. A tall alien with red skin and golden armor appeared. His voice was deep and slow. This is Warden General Zelthor. Riker, you are violating Galactic Command. The girl is to be turned over immediately. Riker didn't blink. She's under protection. Diplomatic transfer. Code 4 Violet. You are not a diplomat, Zelthor growled. Then why are you speaking? To me like one? The alien glared. Return the hybrid or Earth's secret won't matter. We'll wipe the planet clean this time. Alira gasped. She looked at Riker. Would he give her up to protect his home? But Riker leaned in toward the screen and smiled faintly. Try it. The transmission ended. Alarms began to blare. Alira stepped back. What did you do? Bought us 2 hours, Riker muttered. Before what? Before they send a fleet. He set the ship to hyperjump. That's all we need. The cockpit lights dimmed. The engine screamed. Space bent around them. And suddenly everything was still. They had jumped. Alira slowly sat back down, her heart racing. Why are you helping me? She asked finally. Because I used to believe in justice, Riker said quietly. Then the Federation betrayed everything we stood for. Now I fight for truth and people like you. People like me? People who were never supposed to exist, but do. Elira stared at him. And what happens after we reach Earth? Riker looked out the window. We find the vault, we open it, and we show the galaxy the one thing they fear most. What's that? He turned, his voice steady. A future they can't control. The hidden Earth Elira opened her eyes slowly. She was no longer in the stars. Outside the ship's wide window, a beautiful planet floated, alive, glowing with deep green forests, sparkling oceans, and clouds that danced like waves in the sky. Her lips parted in shock. "That's Earth?" she whispered. Riker didn't reply. He just stared, quiet and still, like someone seeing home after 1,000 years. Elira had always imagined Earth as a dead world, poisoned skies, broken cities, and dust-covered bones from the last human war. That's what every school, every database, every teacher had told her. But this? It looked like paradise. The ship approached slowly. As they passed through the upper atmosphere, a strange shimmer surrounded them, a flickering, invisible field. Cloaking shield, Riker explained. Hides Earth from every scanner, every satellite, even wormhole trackers. How did it survive? He gave a small smile. Because humans are good at hiding, especially when they know everyone wants them dead. The ship gently landed on a floating pad above a crystal blue lake. There was no noise, no pollution, just the sound of birds, real birds. Elira stepped outside and gasped. Giant trees with glowing leaves surrounded the platform. Strange hybrid animals, part metal, part flesh, moved in the distance. A small breeze brushed her face. For the first time, she felt something deep in her chest. Peace. Riker walked ahead, toward a pathway covered in vines. She followed him, still speechless. Is this where the humans live now? She asked quietly. Not all, he said. Most of us live underground in the Ark Havens. Above ground is too risky. But this place, this is sacred ground. Sacred? She repeated. He stopped in front of a large stone gate. It looked ancient, older than any Federation building she had ever seen. It was covered in symbols, both human and alien. This, Riker said, is the sanctum of memory, the last archive of unedited truth in the galaxy. The gate opened on its own. Inside, the walls glowed with floating texts and holograms, showing real history, unfiltered, unchanged. Elira turned slowly, eyes wide. She saw images of war, betrayal, peace treaties torn apart. And then, her. Face a younger version of herself, in a projection, beside a human woman. What is that? Riker walked up to the glowing image. That's your mother. Her name was Dr. Nira Kale, one of the last xenobiologists of Earth. She left the planet to study alien genetics. That's how you were born. Elira stepped closer. I never saw her photo. They said she died in a fire. They lied. The projection changed. Now it showed a file, marked classified, hybrid code. One Riker read the text aloud. Subject may activate ancient relics due to combined genetic memory structures. Recommend elimination before awakening. Elira's knees gave out. She dropped to the floor. They wanted me dead, before I even turned 10. Riker knelt beside her. You were never supposed to live, but your mother hid you, sent you, to Varel 7, changed your records, erased your DNA markers. That's why you slipped past them all these years. And now, they've found me again. Yes, she looked up at him, tears brimming. Why do they fear me so much? He stood and pointed to the center of the room, where a large round table sat with a glowing map. Because you are the last being alive who can open this. The table lit up. A 3D model of the vault of creation floated in the air. Hidden deep beneath the Korak Mountains, Riker said, locked since the First Alliance. What's inside? No one knows, but it's rumored to hold the truth of how the galaxy was made. of what humans were before the wars, and of what came before even us. So they fear the past? No, he said. They fear what you'll do once you know it. Elira looked at her own glowing reflection in the wall. She didn't feel like a warrior. She didn't feel like a key. She just felt lost. What if I don't want to open it? She asked softly. Then you're free to walk away? Riker said. But they won't stop hunting you. Not until your heart stops beating. The silence grew heavy. Elira stood slowly. Then we go to the vault. Enemies from above night fell over the sanctum of memory. But on Earth, night wasn't black. It shimmered with quiet silver moons and stars that twinkled like stories waiting to be told. Elira sat by a glowing stream near the ship, holding a strange crystal pendant she found inside the sanctum. It pulsed gently in her palm. It had once belonged to her mother. Do you think I'm ready for this? She asked. Riker stood nearby, his arms crossed. He didn't answer right away. Doesn't matter if you are, he said quietly. They're coming anyway. And he was right. Because far above Earth's cloaking field, they had arrived. A fleet. Not large, but precise. Silent hunters. The ships weren't marked with the Federation emblem. No, these were privateers, mercenaries, ghost ships, and one ship darker than the rest carried a passenger unlike the others, a woman with pale blue skin, a single glowing eye, and a long scar across her face. Her name was Captain Yena, the galaxy's most feared bounty hunter, and tonight, her target was Elira. Approach with cloaking active, she ordered. I want the girl alive, the human, dead. Back on Earth, Elira and Riker walked the hidden path to the Vault of Creation. A map from the sanctum guided them. It glowed in her palm, responding to her very presence. Do you think it will open? She asked. It will, Riker replied. You were made for this. But before they reached the ancient cliffside, Riker suddenly stopped. His hand went to his weapon. Get down, he whispered. Too late. A blast exploded beside them, throwing dirt and rocks into the air. Elira screamed as Riker tackled her. Behind a large tree, from the sky, dark shadows dropped. Elite hunters in armor. No emblems. No mercy. Give us the girl, one of them barked. We don't want you. Riker stood slowly, weapon ready. That's your second mistake. What was the first? Landing here. He fired. The first shot hit the lead, attacker square in the chest. The battle began. Elira ran for cover as blasts lit up the forest. Riker fought like a machine, every move sharp, every shot deadly. But there were too many. He was surrounded. Then, stop! A voice boomed from above. Captain Yena floated down slowly on a gravity disk, her single glowing eye locked on Elira. Hello, child, she said with a cold smile. You've caused quite the storm. Who are you? Elira shouted. Your last lesson in trust. Before Elira could react, Yena raised her hand and threw something, a control spike, directly at Riker. It hit his chest and he froze. His body stiffened. His eyes turned glassy. Our Riker? Elira called. Did he never tell you? Yena said. Your brave protector was once one of us, Federation's deadliest tool. He's still wired for override. Elira's blood ran cold. You're lying. Yena smirked. Am I? Riker dropped to one knee, struggling. Sparks flew from the control spike. He killed dozens like you before the Federation lost control. Yena continued. Why do you think they buried Earth? Why do you think they erased the archives? You were all too powerful to control, Riker screamed, pushing against the spike's energy. Don't listen to her, he gasped. You were meant to die, Elira, Yena said, stepping closer. Your kind should not exist. But Elira stepped forward, her eyes no longer wide with fear. They were full of something new. Purpose. She held up her mother's pendant, now glowing, hot in her palm. You're wrong, she said. I'm exactly what the galaxy needs. She slammed the pendant into the earth. The ground trembled, the side of the cliff cracked, and the vault opened. A rush of wind, light, and a humming sound filled the forest. Yena stepped back in shock. No! No! You weren't supposed to find it. Riker broke free of the spike with a roar and collapsed beside Alira. His body smoked, but he was breathing. She knelt beside him. You okay? Ask me after we go inside. They stood together at the entrance of the vault. A giant door made of ancient crystal waited for Alira's touch. We go in now, she said. And if we don't come back? Riker asked. She looked up at him. Then we'll finally know what they were afraid of. The vault of creation. The door to the vault groaned open like a beast waking from a 1,000-year sleep. Stone, metal, and something unexplainable moved in perfect harmony, revealing a staircase that spiraled into the glowing earth. Alira felt the ground pull her in, gently, like a memory calling her name. Riker limped beside her, his arm weak but his weapon still in hand. Whatever's down there, he said. We go together. She nodded, then stepped through the entrance. The moment her foot touched the first step, the vault responded. Walls lit up with floating runes, languages neither human nor alien, but something older. Lights flowed around her skin like fireflies, made of thought. It knows me, she whispered. Because it was built for you, Riker said, or someone like you. A bridge. As they descended, the temperature didn't rise or fall, it simply changed. A strange mix of calm and pressure filled the air, like breathing inside a dream. At the bottom, they entered a chamber so wide it looked like it held its own sky. Above them floated an artificial sun, casting soft light across thousands of crystal towers, each humming gently. Alira's heart beat faster. Where are we? She asked. A soft, genderless voice filled the chamber. Not from a speaker, but from the air itself. Welcome, hybrid key. You have returned. Alira turned in shock. Who said that? I am the echo of the architects. I speak only when one of true blood arrives. Riker's face paled. The architects? I thought they were just a myth. The voice continued. You were not meant to return. Not until the sky burned again. But your presence changes the timeline. Alira stepped forward slowly. What is this place? This is the vault of creation. It is not a weapon. It is not a temple. It is a seed, a map, a backup of the universe's original design, she blinked. Original design? A new projection appeared. A galaxy, not just stars, but code floating through it. Biological code, spiritual code, time, gravity, all spinning in balance. The voice explained, long ago, before the Federation, before your wars, before even names, humans and aliens worked together to guide creation. You were not born from chaos. You were written. Alira's breath caught. That means we were designed? You were chosen. Humans with the will to adapt. Aliens with the wisdom to guide. The vault was built as balance. But the Federation feared what could not be controlled. Another image appeared. Federation leaders burning scrolls, erasing DNA, hiding knowledge. They tried to erase it, Riker muttered. All of it. And yet, here you are, the voice replied. The crystals around them began to change. Each, one glowing brighter. One crystal floated toward Alira and hovered before her heart. Touch it, Riker whispered. She hesitated, then placed her palm on the crystal, and suddenly, everything changed. She wasn't in the vault anymore. She stood in a sea of light, no floor, no sky, just a field of stars. And across from her stood her mother, not a hologram, not a dream. Real. Alira, her mother said softly, eyes full of tears. You found it. How are you here? Alira cried. The vault preserves essence, not just knowledge. My body is gone, but I stayed here, waiting. For you. Alira ran to her. They hugged. It felt real. Her mother whispered in her ear, "This power is yours now, but it will come with a price." What price? To awaken creation, something must end. Back in the chamber, Riker saw Elira's body lift into the air. The vault's energy swirled around her. Her eyes glowed gold. "She's merging," he said quietly. "She's becoming the vault itself." The voice spoke again. "If the hybrid accepts her role, the galaxy will be rewritten, freed, but the Federation, I will not allow it." Suddenly, the vault shook. From above, explosions. Captain Yena's ships had broken through Earth's cloak. "They found us!" Riker shouted. The vault door began to close, but Elira's voice echoed through the chamber. "Don't run!" Riker turned and saw her descending slowly, light fading from her eyes. "We end this, right here." The final order, the vault of creation, was closing, but the sky was already on fire. Through the last sliver of open air, Riker saw Federation assault ships break through Earth's cloaking field, engines roaring, weapons charging. Captain Yena's fleet wasn't hiding anymore. This was a full attack. "They're not just here for Elira," Riker said. "They want to bury the truth forever." He turned to her, no longer the scared girl he'd pulled from a crowd. Now, Elira stood straight, glowing softly from within. Her skin shimmered like polished crystal and her eyes held galaxies. She was changing and she knew it. "The vault awakened something," she said. "I feel it inside me. I hear everyone. All life, all thought, even time." "Can you control it?" Riker asked. She nodded slowly. "But only once. One choice. One truth." Suddenly, the ground above trembled. A plasma bomb hit the edge of the cliff, cracking it in half. Dust fell into the chamber. A loud voice echoed from the assault carrier above. "This is Captain Yena. Turn over the hybrid, or we will burn this world to ash." Elira stepped forward. "Let me talk to them." Riker grabbed her wrist. "No, they'll kill you on sight." "They'll try," she said. "But they don't understand. I'm not just hybrid anymore." The vault opened one last time, forming a golden bridge into the sky. Elira floated upward, light trailing behind her like wings made of sun. As she rose above the trees, every Federation ship paused. Their sensors glitched. Target locks failed. And then, Elira spoke, but not with her mouth. Her voice rang across every ship, every comm, every soldier's helmet. "Federation Command, you were built to protect, but now you erase. You burn. You fear truth. That ends now." Captain Yena screamed, "Fire!" But the weapons didn't respond. "Your machines know me now," Elira said. "The vault speaks through me, and it is tired of silence." One by one, the Federation ships shut down, quietly falling from the sky like sleeping giants. Riker stared up, awestruck. She's rewriting command systems with her mind. Suddenly, Yena's ship resisted. It surged forward, glowing, red-hot with overdrive. She had overridden every safety limit. "She's going to crash into the vault," Riker shouted. Elira turned. "Then I'll stop her." But Riker ran past her. "No," he said. "Let me." She froze. "Riker, you'll die," he smiled softly. "Maybe, but you're the new order. I'm just the last shadow of the old one." He kissed her forehead gently, like a big brother or a guardian. Then he sprinted toward his own ship. Without hesitation, he launched it straight into Yena's path. The two ships collided in a burst of light, fire, and silence. Elira screamed, "The vault lit up one final time, and then everything stopped. The flames, the sounds, even gravity. All across the galaxy, ships blinked offline. Battlefields paused, laws dissolved, and a new signal echoed through every mind on every world. The final order has begun. Truth is no longer forbidden. Balance shall replace fear. 6 days later, Elira stood on a platform above the sanctum of memory. Her body still shimmered faintly, but her eyes were tired. She looked down at the crowds below. Humans, aliens, hybrids, all gathered, finally equal. She spoke simply. I am not a queen. I am not a god. I am just proof that we were lied to. And now, we build something better. The crowd cheered. Some cried. The war was over. Final scene. Deep below the surface, inside the heart of the vault, a crystal pulsed in silence. Inside it, Riker's last thought echoed. Let the galaxy remember that one human still believed in truth.